Okay, welcome to the Comedy Confession Booth.
I'm scared.
It's gonna be great.
Okay.
We are here in the studio with Zoe Brownstone. Welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime, fresh off the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, where were you flying from?
I flew in from London, where
Nice.
I live,
Nice.
and pretty easy flight, 2 hours, but then it took more than the time that you're in the air to pass customs, which I think should be illegal.
It took that much time?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like, no offense, but it really was like, oh, I'm in Spain.
Yeah, that's like
we
very
are on
Spanish.
Everybody's having their what's it called? Their siestas. I get it. It's a 2 o'clock arrival. No one's available.
Yeah, it literally is. That's exactly what everyone was just on lunch break.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, that's very Spanish though. It's like the best part of Spain is like that it's chill, and the worst part of Spain is that it's chill.
Yeah, I like coming here for a vacation, but I don't think I could live here. I lived in Italy for a while, and I think it's probably similar.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah.
I would say it's similar.
Yeah.
But I think Barcelona is a little like cosmopolitan.
Okay.
Sort of
All right.
vibes.
Like
I don't
that.
know.
Great.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think Italy's a little worse than Spain. Like Italy's more like cash only, sort of like
infrastructure wise, I think Italy continues to just be always 20 years behind everyone else.
And there's a lot of corruption.
A lot.
Like,
yeah.
And the mafia.
I mean, I count those as positives, not negatives, but okay.
All I want is a corrupt government.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for in the ideal retirement home that I'm searching for. It's like, I want to get a house in a country where like the president could be assassinated and no one would really care.
I think you should move to America.
I should move to America. Yeah, you're totally right.
You gotta move back home.
Oh man.
So you're from America.
No, I'm not.
You're from Canada.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
I forgot that.
Don't worry about it. I feel like I put out enough of an energy that I could be mistaken for someone who is as confident as an American. So I'll take it.
It's the confidence.
Yeah.
Is definitely that's the most optimistic outlook, because almost every Canadian gets really offended when you say it.
I don't. British people like make such a fuss when they're like, "Where in America are you from?" And I tell them I'm Canadian. They're always just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I'm like, it's fine. Like, America's done a lot of great stuff, more terrible stuff lately, but
I'm gonna take that out of context. I'm just gonna clip. America's done a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, please don't. Can't go viral for that.
I would never. Don't worry. That's funny though. So, what part of Canada are you from?
Toronto.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. It's basically
The
America.
good part. Yeah, it's basically America. It's like Chicago's sister city.
Yeah.
It's very liberal, but it's kind of like New York in that it's a metropolitan liberal city in an ocean of like conservative bullshit.
Yeah.
So I like it. I don't want to live there though, because I don't like the cold.
Yeah. It's also like, it's like if that's where you grew up, it's kind of like not moving away from your hometown.
Yeah. Where are you from? LA?
New York.
New York.
I know, I have a little bit of a Valley Girl thing
You have a little bit of a California energy to you.
Yeah, I think if I moved back to the States, I would go to LA.
Really?
Yeah, just because I don't like the cold.
I don't like the cold. Like, I will literally move my entire life to a new place. I didn't realize that's how much I hated the cold.
Yeah.
But now, like, excuse me, living in London,
It doesn't get that cold.
it gets cold, but it's not like life-threateningly cold. Like,
Right.
it's not forbidding. You can go outside and you're fine. In Canada, in Toronto, in the middle of winter, like, it's so bad. I love being in Spain. It's I will
Come
take.
here in the summer. It's really nice.
Isn't this the summer?
I mean, sorry, the winter.
Oh. It's
The
like,
summer
wait,
actually sucks.
June isn't the summer? Wait, am I in Argentina?
It's upside down.
The winter being like December through Feb.
Yeah.
And how cold does it get?
It gets like, is Fahrenheit okay? It gets like...
No, your made up method of temperature is not okay.
Here, Fahrenheit is for people and Celsius is for water.
Oh,
Okay, get ready.
Okay.
So 0 is when it freezes. That's water, right? If we're talking about water, right?
Yeah.
0 is when it freezes and 100 is when it boils.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you're a person, if you can go colder than 0 degrees Celsius. Like, you're not going to freeze,
Right.
But 0 degrees Fahrenheit, like, that's kind of the peak of cold. And then you're like, I'm not going outside.
Okay.
Right? And then 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it's like you can handle that, go outside. But after 100 degrees Fahrenheit, it's like, that's really hot. Like 100 degrees Fahrenheit is a fever. Like, that's so easy. It's for people.
I know you think you're making logical sense right now, but what's coming out of your mouth is blah, blue, blee, 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 blah, blue, blue, googly, garbly, gook. It makes no sense. Nowhere else in the world is kidding themselves except for America with this Fahrenheit. Honestly, that sketch, that Nate Bargatze sketch on SNL, it solidified. Oh, it's so good. It's like, I think he's George Washington with like a bunch of soldiers, and they're talking about like, we're making a new America and it's going to be great. And he's like, yes, and there will be two forms of temperature, Celsius and Fahrenheit. And he breaks down like how stupid it is. It's great.
It's funny.
And measurements
like
too, like miles versus feet.
And like inches and
no one knows how many yards is in a mile. Like, it doesn't make any sense. No, it's silly.
Miles and all of that does not make sense. But the UK uses all of that.
It does. It's silly.
It was just so weird. I'm like,
very silly.
Where did you get that?
Stone? How many stone do you weigh? Get the fuck out of here.
Stones you know why stones are so dumb is because it's like, it's such a big, a stone is 12 pounds, which is like so much or more.
It's a lot.
It's a
whatever
lot.
it is, because when you tell someone you've lost a stone, they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, pounds.
But it's like, what am I like 10 stones? It's just like, how is that a valid,
I don't like
accurate form of measurement?
There should just be one, and the Chinese should get to decide, because they're smart with numbers. Just let them decide for the whole world, and we'll just do that. Let's just do that.
I like that you're like, this is on tape, and I support the Chinese.
I support the Chinese in this one little tiny little way.
No, but it's like, if they take over, then they know that you're on their side.
Thank you. Thank you if you're listening, China. Thank you.
They could be.
I love you so much.
We just got a TikTok, so who knows? This could go on TikTok.
This is the next step.
That's exactly it. So, okay, so your story. You came to Europe from Canada.
Yeah.
What led you to move?
Well, I moved to the Netherlands like 5 years ago.
Cool.
For a boy.
Oh.
Which was just such a great decision. You should always just throw away all of your goals for a man. I think I don't think we're being told that enough anymore. And let me tell you, ladies, young women listening, watching this, I want you to know it's going to cost you everything financially and emotionally. But in the end, you might get an hour of comedy. So I lived in the Netherlands, and I got stuck there during COVID. I was there for 2 years after COVID.
Were you still dating the boy during COVID?
No. The relationship was like lasted less time than like a mild yeast infection.
Oh God.
But I ended up there. My sister lives there, and I ended up there. And it was just kind of like a perfect storm of like, Canada got hit so hard in the beginning of COVID. And so I wasn't like actually stuck in the Netherlands, but the choice was like, wear out the storm.
Right.
In the Netherlands, where like everything was open because the Dutch have so much money, and it was like COVID who.
Yeah, and they have like public health care and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plus I could like go through the horrible aftermath of my breakup like kind of in privacy. Like I didn't have to like have that on display for my friends and family.
So true.
Yeah, which was hard at the time, but like in hindsight I'm like, oh, I'm so glad no one had to see that. So I stayed in the Netherlands, and then I applied for a visa to stay there like forever because I had a job and I was doing stand-up. But the Dutch were like, we don't recognize comedy as an art form, so we're not going to give you an artist visa to do that.
What?
It's not uncommon, like the Canadians are the same. We don't recognize stand-up as an art form. So you can't get the same kind of funding, or if you're an immigrant, you can't get the same kind of like visa status.
It's
so stupid. It's so stupid. And like in the UK, it's like so much easier. They give you a checklist of things that you need in order to get the visa, and if you check everything off, they just give you the visa. I mean, you have to pay for it, but give you the visa. It's not like some sort of like witchy thing, like mystery that you have to decode. Fuck the Dutch.
It's like
they're trash people.
It's complicated. Here it's complicated.
Is it?
Yeah, just because I'm working on switching my visa. Like I'm on a non-lucrative, so legally I can't make money here.
Oh shit.
So I mean, don't. But they honestly, it's like if they really did their work, like they would find that I'm working, like because I write articles on the internet. So it's like literally you Google my name and like my work comes up. So it's.
So.
But.
What visa are you trying to get?
I'm getting the Comedy Clubhouse is going to sponsor my little work visa.
That's sick. That's so sick.
So that should be good.
Is it a complicated process?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Process. Oh my God, you're so cute. It's not super complicated. But I was gonna do self-employed before that, and that was like an artist.
Isn't that
or
so much
self-employed.
harder with self-employed that you have to declare like everything single penny you've spent in the last like 5 years?
You have to declare everything. You have to write a complicated business plan. And I'm like,
Does it say that? You have to write a complicated business plan?
I wrote a business plan.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a little baby. Like, I wrote a business plan and then I sent it to my friend to translate it. It was like 2 pages. It had like all my income, expenses, everything. And then I sent it to the lawyer and they were like, this will not do. And then I sent it to like the business plan places that certify business plans, which is like a thing here. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, no.
They were like, no, you can't actually write this in crayon. Like, we need you to type it up on a computer, please.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair.
They were like, this does not, this is too...
Yeah, I can't handle any of that shit. It was the same in the Netherlands. They were like, you have an option. When my lawyer gave me all these options when we were first applying, and he was like, you could do self-employed. But the self-employed thing is just like, it's a nightmare, I think, in any country, because it's like, they really want, I mean, I get it. They want to like stop, I guess, like evil immigrants from coming in and having a business. I don't know.
It's weird though, because it's like they're like, so to be self-employed in Spain especially, you have to pay like a monthly fee regardless of what you're making. So it's not just
to
like
who are you paying a fee to?
The government. Fuck. But it's like 300 euros.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you make.
On top of your taxes.
I think it's like you claim that on your taxes, so then it comes out in the end.
That sucks.
But if you're not making like 2,000 euros a month at least, like you're not making like it doesn't make sense. It's really weird. It's a very strange system here, so I'm like kind of lucking out with the
that's great.
Work permit.
How long is the work permit for?
It'll be 2 years, and then I get my 5 years in Europe, and that's my residency.
Oh, so it's the same as the UK.
Is that the same?
Yeah, it's the same. After 5 years, you can apply for leave to remain. And
when did you get to the UK?
I moved there 2 years ago.
Okay. So you're getting there.
Yeah, just over 2 years ago. And my visa goes until the end of next year. And then either I can renew the visa or move somewhere else, or I guess like force my boyfriend to marry me. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So you worked it out in love.
He keeps saying, he's like, what are you going to do in December next year? And I'm like, we're breaking up. Like I told you, this relationship has an expiry date. Like I don't... That's more like that's a firm deadline. Like if you don't have a ring on it, I gotta go. Like,
like they are kicking me out.
Yeah, like do you know how expensive London is? Like that's a dual income city, okay?
Yeah, it really is.
Baby, if you're listening, I'm kidding. Please don't have a panic attack. Gets really nervous when I joke about this stuff.
I think that's great for him to date a comedian then.
Oh, he is also a comedian.
Oh,
of course,
okay, good.
Because I'm psychotic.
No, I do the same thing.
It's a mental health thing.
Yeah.
Comedians dating comedians is truly the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, it is, but it's also like, who else are you supposed to date? Like, who else is like up till 2 a.m.
I'll tell
every
you,
night?
a chef or a musician. Oh. Those are your other options, and they're great, but they're fucking hard to find.
Chef sounds great.
Yeah, chef is ideal.
Musicians are too flaky.
Musicians
emotional.
suck, and they're never available emotionally or literally. But chef would be.
Chef is
like give me like
chef's kiss.
Yeah, like the bear. Give me the bear.
Oh God, I would
give
love
me
to
the bear.
him.
You know,
I feel like you and Jeremy Allen White would make a great couple.
Totally. Give me that short king. I will.
Is he short?
He's tiny. He's
I love
a tiny little man, and I would just lick his entire body. Again, baby, if you're listening to this, don't freak out. I love you so much. So I don't know. I really like living in London. It's a great city for a comedian to work in, because there's paid opportunities. There's a ton of open mics. There's like, you can tour. I can come here and do shows. The downside is it's like prohibitively expensive. Yeah, it's just a nightmare.
It also doesn't make sense to me, because London, like New York is really expensive, but the incomes kind of match. Whereas like London, like people are like, yeah, 30K a year is what I make. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, how do you pay £2,000 month rent and then
doesn't add up?
It doesn't make sense.
It does not add up.
It's such a weird city.
What's it like here?
Here, oh, it's so cheap.
Really?
It's so nice. But the incomes are really low too. So I'm lucky because I write for like US companies.
Oh, cool.
And I freelance for them, and then like the comedy, I don't get paid here legally, so I'm not going to talk about that.
Just a trust fund, baby.
Yeah, obviously. No, I'm not. But so making money in the U.S. and then living here is like very ideal. Uh-huh. But what I make here, I could never in the U.S. like live
survive
on.
off. Yeah.
And here I have a 2-bedroom apartment.
Shit.
Yeah.
By yourself?
I rent out the second room from time to time. Right now, I have someone in it. You were supposed to come in my room.
Oh, I was supposed to live with you.
Yeah, that was plan A. And then some guy, Mr. Jordan Thomas Gray, decided, hey, I'm gonna come for a few months. And
is that a comedian?
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Is he funny?
He's funny.
American?
Yeah, he is American,
Jordan Thomas
actually.
Gray, the name sounds kind of
He
familiar.
was in Poland.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he was like based out of Warsaw. Now he's here until like December. But I think
What, the comedy scene in Warsaw wasn't doing it for him? There's no way there's a good comedy scene in
right
Warsaw.
there isn't. I was
Maybe in
asking
Krakow,
him.
but definitely not Warsaw.
No.
It's the saddest place on earth.
Have you been?
No, but I mean, all of my ancestors died there, so like, I don't think I need to go.
Yeah, it's one of those. It is interesting, like as a Jewish person, to be like, everyone's like, you should go to Warsaw. You should see the concentration camps. I'm like, I don't really want to.
I hear this shit all the time too, and I've been to a concentration camp. I went to Bergen-Belsen. Did you go to Auschwitz?
No, I went to the one outside of Berlin.
Yeah, Bergen-Belsen.
No, there's a different one.
I mean, you've seen one.
Dachau. Is that? No, that's like that was like a death camp.
Yeah,
that's like worse.
Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. We don't know our concentration camps. We're such bad Jews.
Oh my god, we're bad Jews.
Don't tell my rabbi. This whole return to the fucking concentration camp thing that people think that Jews need to go. You don't have to go.
Yeah,
it's like going to a cemetery. Like, it's just a sad place. Also, the one time I went, I was by myself. There was a fucking school field trip. Kids were running around and playing, and I was like, this isn't a good experience for me right now. Yeah, I wouldn't enjoy that. No, it's not pleasant. I was a fucking terrible comedian I saw. I was in Paris recently. I was in Paris recently, and this comic was talking about like he was Jewish-ish. And he was talking about like, yeah, Jews. It's important to go back to the concentration camps. It's like black people going, to the what? Like he couldn't even
to
finish.
The fields?
He couldn't even finish the joke.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're such a piece of shit. Like,
That's
you're
terrible.
not funny, and you're making everyone uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like that.
So Warsaw, is he gigging this weekend? Am I going to see him?
Probably.
All right.
Yeah, he's around. He's doing not tonight. I don't know.
Apparently, I'm doing 3 shows tonight.
Yeah, shut up, bitch.
Don't tell.
Oh, you're doing Don't Tell too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna be jumping back and forth.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm doing Don't Tell, and then I'm coming here
to headline Shut Up, Bitch.
Shut Up, Bitch, and then
you're gonna headline Friday Night Live.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently, there might also be another person coming to headline.
Yeah. So this is okay. So the podcast, we're gonna release this tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So Saturday morning. So if all goes to plan, I can say his name.
Yeah.
If all goes to plan, Mark Normand will have popped in.
So what's the deal? Like he said he's in town.
Yeah, he's in town. So Michelle Wolf lives here.
Yeah, I know.
And so
they're just hanging out and having a cool life together.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
sick.
I know. I'm like, that's the dream. But I didn't make it in New York yet. So I just came. I was like, I'm not gonna make it in New York. I'm gonna just fuck it. Yeah, so he's in town, and so we were like, hey Michelle, like, can you reach out, because like he knows her, rather than one of us being like, hey, we're a little comedy club. Although I was kind of a dick about it in the group chat, because I was on a show with him like 5 years ago in New York. Not that he would remember me. It's like one show,
Yeah.
But I was like, you guys, like, I could get in touch. Like,
Why would you be able to get in touch?
I don't know.
Are you friends with him?
No.
No, that's the craziest thing
I just
I've
wanted
ever
to
heard.
be a dick about it. I have like
Trying to
friends
flex,
of friends.
I get it.
I was
Yeah.
trying to flex.
All
I have
right.
friends of friends.
Okay.
And the one comedy show we were on together was like really weird.
Okay.
It was a show in Brooklyn. The show itself, not weird. Very nice host, Candace Musinski, very nice person. The show itself, normally normal, but one of the girls in the audience, it's like one of those free backroom bar shows. Do they have those in London? Is that a thing?
Every show in London is a room above a pub.
Yeah. I kind of love those though.
Yeah, I mean, like, some of them are great.
Yeah.
Most of them are shit, but like some of them are really sweet.
Some are fun.
Yeah.
Some are fun. Yeah, that's how it was in New York. It's
Cool.
like I ran one that was really good.
Of course.
But it's because I worked at the restaurant, so I was able to work out like a good deal.
That's
and stuff.
nice.
Yeah, like comedians ate.
Great.
So they loved it. So I got really good comments because they were like, wow, free food.
Yeah, of course. That's what used to be one of the best shows in London, was like a free pizza show.
Yeah.
The show was shit, but everyone was like, oh, we love it. It's the best. Don't ever let it die. It's like, there's 4 people in the audience. Like, you should be way less enthusiastic for this.
Exactly. But so anyway, it was like one of those like backroom bar shows. And there was a girl. I'll never forget the show, not because Mark Normand was on it, but because this girl was watching YouTube videos on her phone with the volume on while Mark was performing.
And he didn't call her out?
He was like calling her out a bit and then was just like, I don't know what to do with this.
That's so awkward.
It was so weird. And, he wasn't like as famous as he is now, but he was like on the rise. And so we were all just kind of like, the fuck? And then one of my friends, Pamela, who's wonderful, and she's actually doing really well. She was on the lineup, so she was watching, and she was like, hey, can you just like go outside? Like, no one's forcing you to sit here. It's a free show. Like, you could just leave. And she's like, well, he's just not funny.
Oh.
Yeah. Like,
I like that.
Right?
That's great.
It was kind of funny, but then she started
watching
being
a funnier comedian on my phone right now. What a cunt. I love that. That's great.
I want you to do that to Mark today.
I might do it on stage while he's performing. Just come back out and be like, I was supposed to headline this show. Oh, but you guys wanted a white man to come and do it.
Yeah, you've been
so wait, you've reached out and he said he's going to come by, or?
Yeah, he said he's going to come by. He probably won't headline. He probably won't be last. He'll probably like headline first half, and then the second half is just going to go late. But
so I have to go after Mark Normand?
Yeah, he opens for you.
Cool. It's not going to be seen like that. That's not how they're going to write about it.
No, but there was one time where Louis C.K. came here.
Cool.
And he and Michelle, like basically the first half of the show, they each did a half hour, and then the audience was like buzzing. So we were like, okay, everyone else who was on the lineup, you're each gonna do like 5-10 minutes depending on. And then it was still a
awesome. Good show.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
The energy in the room was like, everyone was like, oh my god,
that's
like,
really cool.
So it's probably gonna be more like that.
That's great. How often does Michelle come and play?
Whenever she's in town, she's like pretty active.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think she's doing her solo this week. Some point
early this week. I'd love to see it.
Maybe it might be Wednesday.
That's fucking dumb.
You could switch your flight. Whatever.
Stupid. I can't afford to. I'd love to, but I can't.
I know the vibes.
That's so sick. I'm a huge fan of hers.
Yeah, she's really nice. So hopefully you get to meet her and like see her. She might perform tonight.
Cool.
So, yeah.
You can bump me for her. That's
okay.
I know, because usually there's just like one woman allowed on a show. I understand that's kind of the rule in London.
Honestly, if anyone gets bumped tonight, it's probably me. But I'm.
Oh, you're on the lineup too?
On the lineup.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
but I don't want to let it happen because I'm promoting my solo show. So I'm gonna be
Who cares?
Yeah.
Promote your solo show.
Yeah, that's I'm not gonna let them bump me, even though I'm the only local that like also works here.
Stand your fucking ground. Are you going to Fringe this year?
Yeah.
Great.
You're doing Fringe, right?
Yeah. I'm debuting. Are you?
I'm like doing my solo, but I realized I was like, oh my god, am I debuting? And then I was like, actually, I booked a 50-minute slot, so I don't think I have to make it my debut.
I don't know what the rules are. I know 45 is not a debut. I don't know about 50, but I mean,
I'm not gonna like promote it as my debut, so I'm just gonna be like, because I just wanted to run it a lot.
Yeah, great.
So you're debuting.
I am debuting.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I mean, yeah, I am. Like, I've been working on this show for so long, and it's only just recently come together, and so I'm excited now, but it really did take like a year of just like being bad and being like, well, why am I doing that? Like, I'm a club comedian. I don't want to do an hour. I hate it.
Really?
I didn't like the exercise of like writing for the sake of filling time.
Yeah.
Like, that feels like a pointless thing. And I was excited because like I've been to the Fringe twice, and both years I was just like, whoa, like so much fucking talent, and like people up there really committing for an hour is really cool to see.
Yeah.
But I would say the hit rate is like 1 out of 10 is like a comedian. I'm happy to sit here for an hour with you.
Yeah.
And that is a really high bar. So the pressure's on, and I'm excited. I have a good room and a good time slot. But
what's your room and time slot?
Pleasance, Bunker 3.
Whoa, 7:15. Girl, Pleasance.
Yeah.
That's good.
Pleasance. Yeah, it's good.
I think I saw a show in Bunker 3 last year.
It's a good little room. Mary O'Connell was in there last year.
I saw Chloe Radcliffe.
Nice. Chloe's great.
Yeah, she's great.
Really funny.
I know her from New York.
She's from New York?
Yeah.
For some reason I thought she was in Boston.
Or she's from like the Midwest.
But she put her time in New York.
Yeah,
sure.
she did New York. Maybe she did Boston too. Maybe she like rose up more.
I might have just made that up in my head.
I like it.
I
think you should make up where everyone's
sometimes
from.
I just like want to be a part of a conversation, and I'll just insert a fact as if it's like, oh yeah, sorry, I fully just thought in my mind. Like, I just thought I'd read it somewhere.
Because I also do that.
It's either a Jewish thing or a Gemini thing.
Well, I'm not a Gemini.
Well then, bitch, it's a Jewish thing.
Let's make up facts.
Sorry, this 3.2% alcohol can is really getting to me.
I think that's what happens when you don't eat all day and then you fly and
like,
you're
I don't know what I was thinking. I was like not hungry this morning. I was like, it's fine, I'll just get something at the airport when I land. And after 2 hours in customs, I was like, I don't want to fucking get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're just like, let me get out. Did you take the Aerobus?
I took the Aerobus.
How was it?
It was easy.
Yeah.
That part was fine. It was just the Aerobus. And then I went, I was very confident. I got on the subway. I was like, I've never ridden the subway here before.
Nice.
I was like, I can do this. Everybody around me is doing it. I can fucking do this. And I'm just so moist. Every crevice of my body is just so dewy. And it's hot in London. Like, I'm not coming from a cold place.
Yeah, and
But
London doesn't even have AC in the tube.
No, it's very hot there too right
Very
now.
bad.
But in my mind, I was like, I have to wear all of my warmest clothes because I'm only packing a backpack, so I can only afford to wear. I have to wear my warmest. Idiot. So
It's okay. It's gonna be okay.
If you're sitting in the front row tonight, I apologize.
Do you have time to go back to?
I fucking hope so.
I think you'll have
5
time.
o'clock. Yeah. It's
He
fine.
lives like 5 minutes
I
away.
think I have to be at Don't Tell at like 7:30.
You'll be fine.
Be fine.
You-
I'm
you
opening
got-
there. Is
Cool.
it far from here?
No, it's like
Okay.
5 minutes. Everything's
Walk?
really close here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you're never gonna take the metro again.
Fuck. Actually,
Yeah.
I got a pass for the weekend.
You can give it to me.
God damn it.
You might take it.
Really? People don't take the metro?
Not really.
All right, good.
Just because it's a very, very walkable city. So unless you're going to Gracia, which is like a nice neighborhood, good
Yeah.
food and stuff,
Okay.
like it's like Barcelona. I think of as like up and down.
Yeah.
Like it's not north and south. It's
Okay.
like mountains and beach.
Cool.
So towards the mountains, if you go up that way, you
Yeah.
would take the metro. So if you want to go to like Parkway or like see some of the sites, go to
Right.
Sagrada Familia,
Yeah.
then you'll take the metro.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do that, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I've been to Barcelona maybe twice, but it was like 10, 15 years ago. And like before I came here, I was like, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up some cool things. And I didn't do that. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to see people. You'll tell me what to do,
I'll tell you.
where to eat and stuff.
Yeah, I got
Great.
you.
That's all I really care about is food.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, last
We
time
can
I was
get
here, I
great
ate well.
food.
Cool. I ate well, and it wasn't super. I mean, it was like millions of years ago, but it wasn't that expensive.
It's not expensive here. Like beers are like €3-4. Like your wine, like if you're not going to like a very fancy place, a bottle of wine shouldn't be more than like 10-15
Great.
euros.
I'm not a very fancy person. So
Great.
that's perfect.
Yeah. No, there's really, I like the food here. It's a
Gorgeous.
good food scene.
Great.
It's not London as far as like variety, but you know what's good is like sushi. Sushi's really good here.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
I know, it's
That does not
right. It's
sound-
right. It's because we're by the sea. All the fish is really fresh.
You know what's something I noticed? And this is going to make me sound like a racist person.
I
but
wanna
I'm
hear
not
it.
a racist person. I've been here
okay.
for a total of 6 hours. I am amazed at how many Asian people are here.
Oh yeah.
Is that normal? I assume most of them are tourists, but like maybe not.
I think they're mostly tourists.
Are they? Okay, because I
Yeah.
was thinking like maybe it just has a big Asian population.
Okay, so there's a thing. So there's shops here, right? They're kind of racist in Spain. Like Spain is a pretty racist place. As far as like
Shock me.
What? Europe racist? Oh my god, they kicked all the Jews. What? There's two types of shops here. There's what's called I'm not even gonna say it because you live in London, so it's a bad word, the P word. Yeah. So we call certain shops the P word here.
Really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're run by like Southeast
Great.
Asian people.
Yeah.
South Asian people.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they're just like little grocery stores basically.
Okay.
So people will be like, "Oh, have you picked something up from the
Really?
Yeah,
And that's just normal?
Casual normal.
No one's upset about that?
Nah. And then the markets,
upset about that.
there's like these like Bazaar, they're called Bazaar Oriente is
Okay.
like the thing, but people here just call it the Chino.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like but it's like ignorant racism. Like they don't realize it.
That's so weird.
It's really weird.
But do Asian people live here? They must.
If they own all those shops.
And they're just
stuff.
not, they're just like down with all this like casual racism, I guess.
Yeah, I think it
Fuck,
just doesn't.
that sucks.
Yeah, they're
That's-
just like, it's just
Spain, do better.
Yeah, do better.
That's what I'm here to do is change Spain.
I think you're gonna do it.
I'm here for you. I'm here to change you for the better. Here's a white woman coming to change you for the better.
I think you're doing a really good job.
Thank you so much.
So you've been to Barcelona a couple times.
Yeah.
And then I think we reached out, right? We were like, come.
Yeah. That was so sick.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody asks me to do anything, I'm like, do you have the right number?
No, you're so funny.
Thank you.
I think, me and Hannah were like chatting. We're like, we were like, we need to fly over like women.
Thank you. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of us. Like at a certain level in London. There's a ton of women doing comedy, but it's sort of split between like the beginning pros, the open mic scene and the pro scene.
Yeah.
And then in the middle, the sort of like you know, if you've got sort of 5 to 10 years of comedy under your belt, but you're not like breaking through yet, there's really only like a few of us.
Yeah.
And that sucks because what ends up happening is like any given club night, I'm usually one of 2 women or the only women on a lineup. And it just sends the message that like women don't do comedy, but that's not true. Like women totally do comedy. Women watch comedy.
And some of the most famous like female comedians are in London, like Catherine Ryan.
Oh yeah,
is like huge
Canadian.
right now.
Yeah, she's great. Mae Martin was in London for a while.
God, I love her.
We love Mae.
They're dating one of my favorite Survivor players now.
Wow.
Who she came out, like she was married to like a man, had a family, and then basically they announced their divorce, and then a few months later it was like she was dating Mae Martin, and I was like, oh my, it was like, I was like, moms, like this is the best.
That's so exciting.
Like, yeah, it was very exciting.
I didn't even know any of that, but
yeah.
I'm really happy. I'm really happy for Mae.
Super happy for Mae. Parvati's so hot. Parvati's really hot.
Parvati, cool.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yeah, so that's I mean it's nice because it's like I guess less competition, but like that's such bullshit. Like I'm competing with anyone who is as funny as I am, regardless of gender, I think. And
I agree.
But anyways, yeah. So it's anytime someone's like I'm going to Luxembourg next weekend.
Oh, cool. Which
was just like somebody reached out and was like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, I mean. No, but yeah, sure. Yeah. Of course. I will come and play your club. Like, that's awesome.
Is it the Carlos?
It's Carlitos, yeah.
Carlitos.
Have you been?
No, but I've heard nice things.
Okay.
I've heard that it's actually like really fun.
Cool.
Yeah, Kyla has done it. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll ask. Like, I'm now at a point with the hour where like it's not quite ready for Fringe, but it is ready to be tested. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to just like do it in front of as many people as possible. And the problem in London is that like there are rooms for previews, but there are a million people trying to get those rooms.
Right.
And so like getting a decent room at a decent time to do your thing is really hard. And often you're performing for 4 or 5 people.
Right. Because there's just such a big saturation of shows.
Yeah. I mean, I say that, but last night I got freakishly lucky at the Bill Murray in Angel, and like 40 people came.
Oh my God.
Preview, which was awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was like not expecting that. So
How'd it go?
It was good. I didn't like prep as much as I should have because I was like, well, no one's coming. It's football. It's a million degrees. Like nobody cares.
Yeah.
I don't have 10,000 followers on Instagram. Like no one's coming. But no, it ended up being a really nice show, and the Bill Murray is just the greatest
really cool
venue.
spot.
Yeah, really, really good show.
I saw Josh Clance there.
The best.
Best.
I love him so much.
He's great. I like him a lot.
We were supposed to live together.
Really? He's coming here in October.
Great. He's the best. What a clown.
What a clown. He's amazing.
Such a sweet baby angel.
Sweet baby angel.
We love him.
Josh Clance, if you're listening, which I know you're not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not listening.
I don't think he knows what a podcast is.
That's the funniest thing to me is like him just like someone being like, will you come on my podcast? And he just like shows up in his like little crop top with like a xylophone being like, podcast.
Yeah.
Like
that's exactly it. I love him so much.
That'd be amazing. So how did you get into comedy? What's your comedy journey?
I mean, it was that or prostitution. So that's that's how that went. And I ended up doing both. No,
nice. So you're rich.
How did I get into comedy? I was an actor for a while, and then that's a much more depressing job. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't booking enough to keep up with like my own personal like need for making stuff. Mm-hmm. And I took a writing class at the Second City in Toronto, and there's like a graduation show, and it just felt like normal to do that, to get up on stage and tell jokes. And the scene in Toronto, this was a while ago, and it's still like this now, it's so saturated that you can, if you want to, you can get up every night of the week 2 or 3 times a night. Like it's really easy. There's a ton of open mics. There's like a lot of really good shows. The unique thing about Toronto is the caliber of talent is so high. Some of the best comedians in the world are in Toronto. And so like if you stay in it long enough, like if you stay in it for more than 2 years and you're doing like sort of mid-level paid gigs, the pressure is on to be good. Like you really can't keep up unless you're like writing a bunch, performing a bunch, working on it and grinding it out. Otherwise, like it's not unique to be a woman. It's not unique to be Jewish. Like no one gives a fuck.
Cool.
And when I was starting in Toronto, it was sort of the beginning of like the queer community really coming up and the disabled community really coming up in comedy. So it was really like things were really opening up. Yeah. And it was like, okay, like if you want 5-10 minutes of stage time, you have to prove that you are worth it. And as like difficult as that is, and often like frustrating because it's like there's just not enough stage time for everybody. I think it made me into like a much more determined comedian. So that when I left and went to the Netherlands, I mean, I kind of left thinking like, this is the end of my comedy career.
Right.
But when I got to Amsterdam and found out that there was a scene, I was like, oh, cool. I can totally do comedy here. I had been working so hard at like getting my first 7 in Toronto that by the time I got to Amsterdam, I was like, I'm very comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
And nothing on Amsterdam. I fucking love the comedy scene there. But at the time, the caliber wasn't as high.
Yeah.
It was a very small scene.
It makes sense. It's like, yes. I have this, I was in New York and Barcelona.
Yeah,
it's like,
totally. So it's the same. It's like, but it was lovely, and it still is lovely. It's filled with wonderful people, and it's grown a lot in the last few years. But when I got there, it was kind of like I got to jump the line a little bit. So I was like headlining shows and able to tour before COVID. It just kind of it snowballed. I never really thought like that comedy would be my job.
Yeah. Are you full time?
No. But I aim to be.
You're close.
I'm close. Like I could be. I did the math actually recently, and I could quit my job and do comedy full time. Like
that would be cool. What's your day job?
I'm a copywriter at an ad agency.
Nice.
It sucks. I sell my soul 2 days a week.
But you make
it's
enough
London.
money to live on.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't live in like a small town. I live in like the most expensive city in the world.
Yeah.
But the thing is like I want, when you put that away, when you like tuck away the other activities and make comedy your life, like I think you become a better comedian. So that's the goal. I'm giving myself a couple more years in London to like figure out the finances, because like I don't know. I like to eat a meal out once in a while.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like you also like to like have fun.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it and be skint and like just eat ramen. Totally. And I know people doing that, and I have so much respect for them. But like, I like to get a manicure once in a while.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's tough because when you're in scenes like New York or Toronto or London, you see people that are like, I'm just hustling. Like all I'm doing is comedy, but they're broke. They are like they're like, I literally have $3 in my checking account.
Yeah, and like good luck having a successful fucking relationship in that situation.
Oh my god,
like, especially when you're both comedians.
Oh my god. And there's just like there's so many other things that can bring you joy that are outside of comedy, and it's like you want to be really successful in comedy, but it's also like I don't want to kill myself doing it.
Yeah, I think like that kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. Like it's supposed to be fun, and I think the fun gets sucked out of it when you're just so stressed about like making rent and enjoying your life in London, or Barcelona.
Yeah. What's your like favorite thing to do in London?
Smoke weed.
Nice. Same. Here we have a really good weed scene here.
Do you?
Yeah. I'll take you to the club if you want.
I heard that you need a card.
Nah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Sick.
Yeah. I'll take you to shout out Guru.
I was so nervous getting on the plane today because I usually fly with drugs because I'm irresponsible.
Oh, I do.
But okay. I didn't do it today. I was like, I don't think I need to. I'm going to Barcelona. I think they have weed there. I think it should be fine. Okay, great. Awesome.
We have a really good, so weed here is like, it's kind of like Amsterdam.
Yeah, like
but
it's decriminalized.
It's decriminalized. We have associations. Okay. So it's like, you can.
Like a members club.
Yeah, it's like a members club.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think it's like €10. And then sometimes that goes, if you refer someone, sometimes that goes into there. I don't know how it works, but I'll bring you to Guru after this. And we'll
solid.
Yeah, it's the best. That's a great thing to do. That's a great activity.
Yeah, I don't know. I live right near a park, so I like to just like smoke weed and go to the park.
What park?
London Fields.
Oh, I don't know where that is.
It's in Hackney. It's
okay.
It's a nice little spot. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't really have a lot of free time these days. Like
I'm like a touring comic.
Just like really fucking busy. I mean, it's true. Yeah, like last 2 weeks ago I was in Paris, and now I'm here, and next week I'm going to Luxembourg, and like I have a job and I'm gigging 4 nights a week, and my boyfriend likes to see me. Yeah, he wants like attention from me.
That's so much.
It's so annoying.
Why do men need
It's so annoying how much he loves me and supports me. It's like, ugh, get over it. Get a hobby. I'm kidding. Baby, if you're listening to this, I love you so much.
Did you meet him at like a comedy show?
He runs a really good night in East Dulwich in London with another comedian. It's called EDT. Cool. And it's like kind of an alternative comedy night. And we met there, and I did it a couple times, and I was like, we should hang out. We should eat mushrooms and go to the portrait gallery.
Nice.
And that was it.
That was it. That was the moment.
Ladies, that's how you do it.
That's some good advice for this girl over here.
Yeah, that was a good time. That move doesn't always work. Sometimes it has the opposite effect and makes people never talk to you ever again.
Yeah, but if that's the type of person they are,
then
it's you don't want to date them.
Then you know.
Exactly. I had this recently so it was a really big holiday this past weekend, San Juan.
Oh, cool.
Or San Juan, some people know it. And yeah, there were drugs. There were drugs around, right? I accidentally did ketamine.
Oh.
Yeah.
For the first time?
Yeah. I thought it was.
Oh,
I thought
shit.
it was.
A little bit.
That
other stuff.
Thought it was the other stuff.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So and my friend had bought it. I was here. I was bartending.
No. How much did you
luckily,
do?
it was like we were basically closed already.
Okay.
It was fine. But I was like mopping up downstairs. There were like some comedians upstairs, and a snow-sized line. Yeah. So it was like, and I had never done it. And I was like, 5 minutes later, I was like, you feel weird? And he was like, I feel, now that you said it. And then all of a sudden we were like, that was not. So then he had to text the dealer. The dealer, great customer service, was like, yeah, you will meet up in the middle and I'll trade you back. And then he just let us keep the ketamine.
Okay.
But not that I wanted it. I was like, I don't get this away from me. Like, one of my friends was like, how was it? Would you recommend? I'm like, don't do it by accident.
Don't do it by accident and don't do like a lot of it.
Yeah.
I always go low, go slow.
Yeah, go low, go slow.
Yeah.
That's really good advice.
That's scary.
But I was texting a guy during this and I was like, we had only gone out once. So I had a feeling he was like, cool, but I wasn't sure. So I was like, I was like gonna maybe meet up with him, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it out. Literally, it was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, and then like,
I don't know what my hands are right now.
Legit, I'm just laying there. I'm like, I don't know, like. But it was also scary is we didn't know for sure what it was until the drug dealer answered.
Fun.
So that was like a little bit scary. But yeah, it turned out that he was cool. He was like, yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe you've never done it. Blah, 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 blah.
All right, that's a good test.
Which was a great test.
Yeah.
And then we went out again. It was great.
Do you like this boy?
Yeah.
Great.
I hope he's not listening.
Was it the dealer?
Imagine.
That'd be great. If you're like, I'm so sorry, baby.
I will say my nail person here sometimes, I haven't gotten her in a while, but she was my dealer for a while.
That's very handy.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But
yeah.
That's very convenient.
Support female-owned businesses.
Yeah, totally. That's such a good side hustle to like be a nail artist and also be like, while your nails are drying, let me tell you about this other opportunity I could present.
I think it's just whenever someone's like, can I get like long nails? I'm going to a festival this weekend. She's probably like, are you set? Do you want to like scoop your nails in and try a little something? Yeah. Like
your fresh nails, your fresh dip.
Yeah. Cool. So we've established that hopefully the police are not listening. Yeah. So do you have like, what's like your favorite, do you have a favorite gig you've ever done? Or a worst
It'll
gig?
be tonight. Okay.
That would be fun. I mean, you have Michelle Wolf, Mark Norman, and then you're the headliner.
Zoe Brownstone.
Honestly.
Worst gig. Yeah, I've done a lot of really bad gigs. Best gig. That's a good question. I've never really thought about it. I probably Top Secret is like one of the best nights. That's a club in London and it's just fucking great. Like they have 2 rooms and on a Sunday night you do the downstairs room for like 200 people and then you go upstairs, you do the upstairs room for like 130 people and everyone is down. Everyone is happy and it's a great experience. It's very much a comedy audience, so they like really are there for jokes. They're not there to be drunk and stupid.
Love that. That's interesting because I feel like a lot of the clips I see out of there are still like crowd work clips.
Definitely. That's what they're trying to get, but I don't fuck around with crowd work. I mean, I don't have time. I'm only ever doing 7 or 10 minutes, so it's like I don't get away from me. I have something to say, and it doesn't require your job, knowing your job. I don't know, and I don't care. Worst show. I don't bomb, but I do not do well at the Comedy Store. I've been there a few times now, and I just like I get so nervous, I get so anxious, and I just like don't enjoy it, and it's usually just like not very good. I think like most comedians, it's like you're not great if you're not having fun. Yeah, and I really don't have fun there.
Interesting.
Sorry, Comedy Store.
I'm forgiving you on their behalf because I know them personally.
Don't we all?
It's like Mark Norman. Yeah. We go way back.
You and Mark, BFFs since day one.
Way back. That's crazy. I have a friend who's been like crushing like every Blackout and Gong show in London.
Cool.
And I was thinking about this recently because he just won the Comedy Store one. And he's like won everyone.
Who's your friend?
Donatus.
Oh.
You know him,
sweet,
tall.
Sweet Donatus.
Yeah.
Tall.
Maybe a different Donatus because he just moved there.
Lithuanian?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
really
that tall.
No,
What?
really tall. Okay,
Pull up a photo.
I'm pulling him up.
There can't be two of them.
There's 2 Donatuses.
That's insane. My Donatus is going to be very upset when he finds out there's another one.
A very tall Donatus.
Oh, that's not the same guy at all.
Yeah, here.
That guy is insanely tall.
Very
tall.
tall.
Oh, you know what? He was at the Bill Murray the other night. I saw him there. Yeah, he was on a show before I was on a show.
Nice.
Oh, cool. That's nice.
Yeah.
So he's crushing all the gongs.
He's crushing all the gongs, and I'm curious because you've now been like doing really well in the London scene and like doing all these club spots. Have you done those gongs? And like I did one, and I feel like men do better at gongs.
Oh shit, we're getting political up in this bitch.
I'm gonna get
I've done them all, and I've fucking won them all.
Okay.
No, I haven't. I have won them. I've won them all, but you don't get passed because you win them. Like Up the Creek is probably the best one, but you have to win. You have to win it 5 times before they'll give you a weekend spot, which I think is just such a joke.
It's also that's the one I did, and I was not immediately, but like immediately.
It's not an easy room. It's a big room, and if they don't like you from the beginning, like you get that minute grace period, but if they don't like you, they're like edging. They can't wait to gong you off.
I had this. They were the 3 people before me had passed. And they were
so
fine.
They were like hungry to gong someone.
They were hungry. And so the host was like, are you guys happy with who has the cards? And then they passed it back to this guy who was like an old dude. I was like, he's not going to. They took it from a girl and gave it to the guy. I was like, she was my one. Yeah. Like, and I had my little ukulele. Not going to do that at a gong show again. And I was just like, and I don't like gong shows.
Yeah, no, they're terrible. They're terrible. They only exist in the UK. It's a bunch of bullshit.
We have one here.
You have one here?
Yeah.
That's stupid. And Amsterdam has one too now. And I'm like, God, why are you doing this? It's already such a fucking blood sport doing stand up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I did them when I first moved there because everyone said that you had to do them to get into the club.
Especially in London, they say that.
But like, I don't know. Like, if it's worth it. Like, so Big Belly, Up the Creek, and the Store. Mm-hmm. That's like their method to see you because just so many comedians apply.
Right.
But then like, okay, so here's what happens at the Comedy Store. I didn't win, but I beat the gong, and there's a second round. I didn't win the second round, but I emailed them and was like, can I just come? And they're like, yeah, you got a 5-minute open spot. Cool. So you do a 5-minute open spot. If they like you, you come back and do a 10-minute open spot. And if they really like you, you can do another unpaid 10-minute spot. And then if they really like you, maybe they'll give you a 20, which is paid.
Wow.
But like so I've done 4 open 10 spots now for them, and every single time I don't do well. I'm too anxious. I hate the room. It's all tourists. Like I can't win in that room. So for me, the cost benefit analysis of it is just like, it's not worth it. The stress alone is not worth it. The Up the Creek is a bit different because that club is like really good. If you can get a weekend spot there, it's like it's a really good room to play.
That's cool.
And also I think that their gong is a little less like gladiatorial.
Yeah.
Like King Gong is just merciless. People are like booing you and being mean, and I did well, but like a lot of other comics that night were brutally bullied, and I was like, why are any of us signing up to do this?
Like, why are we subjecting ourselves?
This is insane. This is so stupid.
It's like we're already doing like open mics to 3 people. Like we want to subject ourselves to like being bullied by 100.
Enough. Like, how much more must we hate ourselves? And I know comics who don't do gongs and they play plenty. So
great.
I think it depends where you want to be playing and like how important you think it is to like being passed at clubs and getting paid spots at clubs. But like even then, like I said, I've won all the gongs and I've beat all of them, but like I don't know, I've made more money at Top Secret and that had nothing to do with the gong.
Right.
So actually, that's not entirely true. Big Belly has been very good to me, and I won that gong, and I play there regularly. So shout out to Phoebe at Big Belly.
Okay, go Big Belly.
Great club. She's great.
We love it.
Yeah,
love to see it. That's great. Yeah, it's like it's just a weird. To me, it's just such a weird like scene thing because it's not a thing in New York.
Yeah, it's not a thing anywhere. It's only a thing in the UK, and I guess here
people say
in
you
Amsterdam.
have to do it though, which is weird. And I don't like here. I'm never gonna do it here because it's like I'm already like doing the shows here. Like why would I subject myself?
No.
It's like Yeah.
You don't need it.
I don't like gongs.
It's great.
I'm anti-gong.
Good.
Against them. What other questions do I have for you? Because we're almost up. Yeah, we're almost up.
Yeah, I think I have to go shower.
You have to shower. You smell great.
Do I? There's no way. There's no way I smell great.
I haven't actually smelled it, but you don't smell bad.
Okay, that's reassuring. I was a bit worried in this room. I was like, no, I'm stinking up the place.
No,
okay,
no, you're great. You don't smell bad. You smell like nothing. Oh, great. Which I think is ideal.
That's the goal. You want to smell like nothing.
I agree. Like I don't know. I think when people smell too strong of anything, even if it's a good scent. I hate when men smell good, and then I'm like, are you trying to get me to fuck you?
Yeah. You're tricking me with my nose. Yeah. You're tricking me with my own nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like really rude.
Yeah.
It's so rude. Okay, I have a question because I don't talk to many Jewish comedians in here.
On purpose?
I hate them. I hate them. I'm like, I'm the only one.
Get away from me.
Get out. Have you found it do you talk about being Jewish on stage, and how have you dealt with that amidst our current political climate?
I mean, when are we not in a political climate?
That's true.
My Judaism is strongest in the presence of anti-Semitism. So any opportunity to get on my little soapbox and be like, hey guys. Yeah, I talk about it. I talk about I kind of have a joke about. It's not really a joke about the war, but it's a timely bit that I'm trying to make work right now. And I talk about it in the hour. And I don't think I'm unique in my experience of being a non-religious Jew who is in comedy. I think that's most of us.
Most comedians.
Yeah, that's a pretty big slice of the pie.
Yeah.
But I am surprised, and I compare it to I shouldn't be comparing it to this, but I've been comparing it to this documentary came out last year about Russell Brand, raping all those people.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. Nothing happened to him, and no one talked about it. No comedians talked about it. The guy was a comedian. He was a stand-up comic. That's how he started. And no one touched it. And I found that so interesting because I was like, this is a big deal and no one knows about it or cares outside of this country and even in this country. And now with the war, hold on. I'm not saying this is something we need to be joking about at all.
Right.
But I do find it interesting that people really don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
They don't even want to acknowledge that we are in an insane moment politically right now, that the polarization that's happening, I think more so in America. I don't know if it's here at all. It's definitely in the UK, but
it's here.
It's weird and uncomfortable, and the discourse is also uncomfortable. And I don't think that comedians should be more political, but I think that people need to not be afraid of having a conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's the fear of having a conversation that leads to polarization, that leads to people saying it has to be this or it has to be that. But when we look at this in terms of black and white, or one side winning and the other side losing, that's not a solution either.
Right. It just doesn't. It's it's very frustrating, and I think as a Jewish person can be very frustrating because then people don't. Yeah, they don't want to talk about it, and then I've had this happen. I don't know if you've had this happen where I've been on stage and I've mentioned being Jewish. I have a joke about Jerry Seinfeld. That's a dumb joke.
Who?
Jerry. You know Jerry? You heard of him? He's an
open micer?
Yeah, he's not very big yet. He's on the rise.
I'll check out his Insta.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's I don't know, a few people have been talking about him, he's coming up. So I have this it's a throwaway mention of Jerry Seinfeld. And I had a guy be like, he sucks, and from the audience, right? And I was like, he does, but whatever. Me thinking because he sucks because he dates 17-year-olds, you know? And then I get off the stage and immediately the guy's like, no, he sucks because he was in Israel. And I was like, oh, okay, but I wasn't even talking about that. And he's like, yeah, but you should know, it's and then just starts lecturing me on it. And that's not the first time that's happened where I just talk about being Jewish and then someone else is basically, there was this white lady from London with blonde hair who was like, it's just not a good time to talk about it.
She Jewish?
No.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great time to be a white lady.
Right?
I mean, I think it's a great time to talk about how you're feeling, because it's always a great time to talk about how you're feeling. And
I love that.
It's funny, the most pushback I've had has been from other Jews.
Yeah.
Because like it's either other Jews who don't think I'm supporting Jews or other Jews who think I'm not supporting Palestine.
Right.
And my whole thing is like, I'm not picking a side. I'm not saying I'm not pro-Israel. I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm not talking about the war in terms of that.
Right.
Obviously, anybody who is saying that children should be murdered is fucking
bad.
crazy.
It's like, that's insane.
I'm not interested in having that conversation.
I don't think there's many Jews who are saying that.
It's not a whole lot.
It's like,
there's really not a whole lot.
and it's like most Jews who like believe Jews should be allowed to live in places like aren't necessarily like, yeah, Netanyahu's great. Like, no, Netanyahu sucks.
Yeah,
like,
I have Israeli family members who have been protesting him for years, who are trying to make their country better. We're trying to make their country more inclusive so that Palestinians can live there too. Like it's a very complex conversation.
Exactly.
And my interest in it with comedy is that it's a unique experience to be a part of a community or a part of a people where a part of like a big part of our foundation is being murdered and chased out of our homes. Like we understand. We get that. That's kind of our thing. Since kind of day one.
Yeah, basically.
And it's just that part of it that I think is very interesting. It's hard to talk about it at all because it's sort of, for me, it's sort of like land acknowledgements in Canada. Like, you know, when you go to see a play in Canada now, they often do a land acknowledgement beforehand. They say like the land that this show is being performed on was, you know, the land of the Cherokee or whichever tribe used to live there.
I didn't know they did that.
It's becoming a
Canada's
huge part.
so nice.
Canada, woke as fuck. But it's important, you know, to acknowledge that.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know if I have the space for that in comedy to do like a land acknowledgement speech before I do a joke.
No.
Like, I don't think an audience wants to hear that.
Hey guys, I'm about to do a joke about
but don't
where
kill
we
kids,
are.
okay? Yeah, like
it's very tricky. So yeah, I'm glad that I feel like we share a similar kind of experience on it, where it's like, you want to talk about it. You want to be able to talk about your identity and who you are and like your relationship to the world. And then people.
That's kind of my job. Like that is my job as a comedian. I'm not a philosopher. I can't be a political comedian. I'm not smart enough, but like I can talk about my own experience, I guess.
Yeah. And I think you're good at it.
Thank you so much.
I've seen you do comedy. You were like really funny.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. I'm really excited for you to do the spotlight. It's going to be
me
fun.
Too.
Yeah, that's why. So we record this Friday, we post it Saturday, and then we say like, hey, come to the spotlight.
Come to the spotlight. It's at 6?
8.
It's at 8?
Your show's at 6.
My show's at 6.
Go to Zoe's show.
Yeah, come to that.
Go to that.
Please come.
And
it's
then
gonna
also
be an hour.
go to the spotlight.
Yeah, come to the hour
Do
first, and then come to the spotlight.
Is it going to be the same stuff?
How long is my spotlight at?
Half hour?
Yeah, it's going to be some similar stuff.
That's okay, guys. Come to
both.
Come to both. You don't want to miss it, okay? You never know what's going to happen. You never know what
could change your life.
Like, I think it will. You should definitely come to at least one though. So yeah. Cool. Well, I think we're rounding it out. My last question is the same last question I ask everyone. What's your advice to new comedians?
Do comedy.
Do it.
Say yes to every opportunity and do as much as you can, because like I think it takes probably 5 years to figure out if you're any good at it, and the only way of like sort of fast tracking that is to do it as often as possible to as many different kinds of people. And I cheated a little by moving country and like performing in front of international audiences. Like you really learn what works and what doesn't a lot faster than if you're just performing to the same 10 people in your neighborhood.
Right.
So yeah, if you're a new comedian, do more comedy. And if you're a female comedian, please do more comedy. Yes. We need you.
We need you. Please. We're begging.
We're begging you.
We're going to fall apart. Okay. That was great. Well, thank you so much, Zoe.
Thanks for having
You're
me.
Fantastic. I'm going to let you shower now.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. Sorry for stopping you. At least it's going to be nice and clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and James have the same cleaner. She's very good.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she's great.
Killing.
Doing well. All right. Anyway, thanks, Zoe. Everybody come to the Spotlight Saturday, 8 p.m. Go to Zoe's show. I think it's at 6 or 6:30.
6, I think.
6. Okay. 6 o'clock Saturday. And then if you're around Sunday, 10 p.m., come to my solo show.
Hell yeah.
Fuck tomorrow.
Great.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Zoe. You're the
Peace
best.
out. Ooh.
We did it.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Great.